February 1st, 2024, the beginning of a new month. And we started off pretty strong visiting the Nanzenji temple. Not actually the temple itself, because I went with friends and they didn't want to see the main temple, but we did see the surrounding area, which is very, very nice and mossy. I visited this temple last year with some friends and family, but we ended up going through it pretty quickly. So I was glad to be able to go back and just take my time with it instead. Also, this time around, we went to the garden that was pretty much right next to the temple and costed about 500 yen, but I think it was worth checking out since it had a very, very beautiful pond with some nice koi fish in it. During this day, I actually attempted to try a day in the life type of thing, but I think I'm figuring out that me being on camera, or not necessarily me being on camera, but me vlogging in that style is very, very difficult. I like talking about things after it happens and not really putting a camera in front of me and my friends while we're doing things. It's kind of not very natural, at least as of this moment for me. So that kind of died in the middle of the day right after the temple. But either way, I still managed to film a good amount of the experience and the sights I saw, which were definitely beautiful. I can at least play the part where I mentioned how I felt in nature. Anyways, afterwards we went to go eat at a cafe that was vegetarian since one of the friends that joined was vegetarian. So I ate my second veggie burger ever, the first one being at Google headquarters at Spruce Goose because one of my friends brought me there. And interestingly, the veggie burger at Spruce Goose to me tasted better. I don't have too much experience with vegetarian cuisine in Japan, but based on this single experience, which of course I'm not going to base my entire opinion of vegetarian food in Japan off of this single experience, but it does sort of make me feel like since it was pricier and didn't taste as good, that I don't really necessarily want to visit more places that are similar. But I'll do my best to keep an open mind since a good amount of the friends are vegetarian. But after that, we did a little speed walking to Kawaramachi, which is a very popular area in Kyoto. And in Nishiki Market, there is a store that sells Cremia ice cream. And this time I got the vanilla, just the vanilla, and it finally tasted as good as I remembered it being. My friend, who was sort of doubting me when I was hyping up the ice cream, she hesitantly admitted that it was really good. She didn't really want me to have that victory, I suppose. But I was definitely very happy at that moment, and I finally felt very satisfied. I've been eating a lot of ice cream in Japan, to be honest, which is not good for me, but I think it was because I was craving that same flavor that I got today while eating Cremia. And now that I've finally got it, I can stop eating so much ice cream. That is until I visit Uji, which happens to have the matcha flavored Cremia ice cream. I think it's unique to Uji, or at least just at a few locations, since the one at Nishiki Market only sells the vanilla flavor. But after that, we went to school, the language school, and the lesson for the day was primarily around adding toki to things. Toki is just like, sort of like time, like the time I was in high school, the time before I go to sleep or after I go to sleep, stuff like that. That was definitely a very useful lesson. But the end of the night was another event with a newer friend that I made at one of the share house events, the mochi pounding one. And we went to a curry place in Yodobashi. It was kind of funny because he said he was a regular there. He's been there like 40, 50 times because he's been here a lot longer than I have in Japan and Kyoto. But the funny part was when we were looking at the menu, he didn't realize there was an extra menu which had a lot more items. He just ordered the same items from their special menu continuously. I ended up just getting katsudon because it was one of the cheaper options, and I in general just really like katsudon, and it was pretty solid. I really don't think that you can go wrong with katsudon in Japan. But he is someone who is more advanced in Japanese than I am, for sure. He's able to speak it quite fluently, or at least his pronunciation is fluent, and his comprehension as well as vocabulary is just much greater. I'd say, or he says that he's around N2 level. So it's good to get some insights on Japanese practice, and some stuff he recommended was just like watch anime, read manga, or if you're at a lower level, then you can read some kids books, stuff like that. Just lots of reading, writing, and some practice methods. But the main reason we met was because I proposed trying to do some sort of video or music project, since he's also a music producer. So we started brainstorming some stuff, and we came up with an idea that we both sort of felt excited about, happy about. Like it's an idea that both of us had while in Kyoto. So hopefully we get to make that soon, and I'll get to share the actual idea with you guys. I think it'll be a fun one. But that was about it for the day. It was definitely a longer day, and I enjoyed it a lot. At night, actually, I got a message from a new friend, the one who happens to live in Japan, and we just walked for a little bit since she was around Kyoto Station. So that was nice. But I also actually studied for the exam as well. So I guess there was a little bit more to the night. But now that's about it. So I think the lesson for today was a bit more of a personal one, not one that can apply to everyone, but just finding my natural and sort of like strengths in what I like to do with film and video stuff. I don't necessarily like to be actively filming myself talking and whatnot while I'm in the nature areas. I think I really do like talking after the fact a lot more, since I get a bigger scope and picture of things. Although I do think I like filming more than just stuff, which is the majority of what I've been filming, I would like to film more people, so I started asking some friends if it's okay if they're in the videos, and they seem to be pretty cool with it, so perhaps I will do a bit more filming with people and maybe even myself sometimes in the video, where I'm not necessarily talking, but I'm just in the shot. But it was good to try and experiment with the whole like day in a life thing. Honestly, all these audio journals are a day in a life, like probably more so, like more specific than most general day in the lives. But I do feel like I don't really have that strong of a desire to actually do it in the way that it's conventionally done. So I think I'll stick with my strengths and what I like and enjoy, and what I feel is natural. I'll still talk to the camera here and there, just because I do find that fun. It's just I'll probably make those their own separate videos. There's definitely a lot more experimenting to do. Okay, that's it for this one.